Hey, y'all. Thanks for stopping by. So, last night was the vice presidential debate between JD Vance and Tim Walz. Presumably the only one we're going to have. It's the only one that was scheduled for this election cycle, and I don't really think they need to have another one. There's still over 30 days until the election happens, so maybe they'll schedule something out, but it doesn't really seem like it's necessary at this point. Any undecided voters got to see them talk and I guess be introduced to them. I don't think anybody really changed their vote or changed their mind if they were already a decided voter based on the results of a vice presidential debate. I know there are still some undecided voters somehow, and based on some of the exit interviews I saw, maybe some people had their opinion shifted to a definite answer. But what did you think? If you watched it, who do you think came out on top? Who was the winner of this debate? Personally, I don't think anybody really wins a debate unless they're very heavily outclassed, unless they make a lot of mistakes on stage. And while there were some gaffes that did happen, I don't think anybody really made any huge consequential errors on stage. One thing I did notice from people's reaction was they said that JD Vance was an eloquent speaker. They said compared to Trump, he's more capable on camera, that people can understand him more, that he's just a better speaker. And some people said it reminded them of the Republicans of yesteryear when people had decorum. And I feel like there's a lot of revisionist history that comes into the GOP before Trump, that they think that this was somehow a party that cared about people before Donald Trump took it over. And that's just not the case. They were better at hiding it, though. JD Vance does remind me of that type, like the Paul Ryans of yesteryear, that were ghoulish and snake like and said the right words that made you feel like they were saying something that mattered to you. It's like a corporate lawyer in that way. Maybe he picked that up from his wife. I don't know. Of course, that's not to say that he was the only one who had some flubs. Tim Walz had his, though probably the worst misspeak of any presidential debate in recent memory, saying that he made friends with school shooters rather than talking about school shooting victims. He was referring to Sandy Hook in that moment. Republicans are going to run with that for the next month or so. They're going to make it seem like he's unfit because he misspoke on stage. And Tim Walz did seem very nervous. I will say that much. He's admitted in his past that he's not good at debates. And I can relate to that. I hate debating. I always feel like I'm getting choked up whenever I start to have serious conversations or direct arguments. But, you do what you can. Another thing that Republicans are going to run with is that JD Vance got fact checked. They may say that JD Vance fact checked the moderator back. What happened was they were referring to migrants in Springfield, Ohio, the Haitian immigrant population that lives there, and they are under a legal status to be here. No, it's not a full green card sort of situation where it takes you a decade to get in the country, but they are here legally. These aren't illegal migrants. JD Vance took offense to that and described a legal process as to why they're here legally, but it's not the way he likes it. Somehow, this is going to be spun by Republicans as the moderators being unfair for simply saying that these people are here legally. But that's sort of the Republican MO. It's not that things are happening in the right way, it's that it's not happening in the way that I want it. The worst part of the debate, in my opinion, the thing that I'm seeing people bring up the most is what changed their mind, was JD Vance still denying the 2020 election results. Now, I understand why he's doing this. He's got to suck up to Trump for the most part. That is your boss. But he was asked a very pointed question by Tim Walz, asking if he will admit that Trump lost the 2020 election. And the response was, I'm looking to the future. He then asked about Kamala Harris censoring people on social media. So apparently, we're not looking into the future about Facebook. But it's okay if we look into the future regarding your boy trying to overthrow our government. I think it should blacklist you from holding office if you can't admit the results of an election. To me, that makes me uncomfortable with giving you my vote because you won't trust my vote. You won't trust the opinions of your constituency. You want it to be your way, not the way that the people want. I think that should be disqualifying. I did see a lot of undecided voters voicing the same sort of opinion that despite all the debate performance, despite the weak performance by Walz, as some people would put it, J.D. Vance still denying the results of the 2020 election is what's going to stick in people's minds. It should. That's what you should bring up to people. That if your elected officials won't trust your vote, you shouldn't give them your vote. You shouldn't give them your money. You shouldn't give them your time. That's what they should be listening to, is us. And if they won't listen to you at the most basic level of our democracy, I don't think they respect it. And I don't think we should let them lead it. But it's still about 30 days until the election, so Republicans will spin this a lot of different ways, and maybe we'll get another debate out of this, but like I said at the start, I doubt it. But until these guys meet again, I guess until we have another debate, or I guess until Election Day, y'all try to have a good day.